Hey everybody! Today is the last day of the year and I will be answering your questions. By the way, if you want to ask me questions in the future, go down and follow me on Instagram and you can do that. It's the perfect place to participate in polls and help me with videos. So today we talk about your video. Okay, so I selected a few questions of yours. If I didn't get to them, then I'm sorry. How many languages do you know? English, Russian, я говорю по-русски, and español, que sí, que digo. I'm now living in Portugal, and my Portuguese is very, very, very basic, so basic it's really embarrassing. Thankfully in Portugal, everybody speaks quite perfect English. That's still not an excuse. Is this your full-time job? Yes. It was not my full-time job until last year. I had another job teaching English online. I would get up at 5 in the morning and I would be like, hi kids. And I would do this literally at 5 and 6 in the morning. I would do this for a few hours and I'd go sleep. And I used to travel with this. And when I used to travel with this, I swear to God, I kid you not, I would do this in hostels. If I was in California, I'd be teaching at night. And then if I was in Europe, I'd be doing it during the day. First thing you check into a hostel, do you have a room I could teach English in? And they're like, John Gonzalez. John, hi, he's one of my best subscribers. Always wishes me a happy Thursday or a happy Sunday. But okay, so one of the questions he asked was, what is your ideal first date? You know what? I don't have an ideal first date. What I really don't like is formality, and formality when it comes to trying to impress me. For example, going to an expensive restaurant or doing something that's just very stiff and awkward. The more relaxed the date is, doing something together, hiking together, just hanging out, having a drink, those are the best ones, because then you can just be yourself. And I think attraction grows when there's no pressure on you to be perfect and to act perfect. And you can't really do that in a restaurant. In a restaurant, you need to dress up, you need to look the part, you need to make certain types of conversation. And for me, just kind of kills the attraction. There's a Turkish actress named Nilay Duru. I think you look very much like her. So last time you guys told me I looked like a, Jason, what was it? It was like a Chilean football player. So I think this is a better one. By the way, what's your ethnicity? I am a Russian. Also, my dad is half Ukrainian. If you could choose one city for fun and vacation for all those you visited, which one would you choose? And which city has captured your mind that you'd want to move there? Well, I recently moved to Lisbon. There's pros and cons to many countries, and I love many countries. But as a city that you feel really comfortable with, that you like the people, that you feel at home, I think Lisbon for me has been really a good city. I like Portuguese people. I think they're very good people. They're very simple people, and I feel really comfortable. They've made me feel really comfortable in Portugal. Portugal tourism. Blackhawk asks, what has been the most challenging part about maintaining your channel? A lot of things. Well, first of all, the budget. But I think for me, the most difficult has been, well, I like to focus on the creative part of it. But a lot of things get in the way, like, you know, the business side of it, or even sitting around and casting actors. I mean, I don't have a casting person. I do it all myself. A lot of times, there's not enough time in my day to do everything, you know? So my biggest goal is to expand the team and then get each person responsible for different parts of it. You have a channel dedicated to dating, but can you tell us something about your dating life? Yes. I'm currently dating someone. He's Dutch, and he lives in Portugal at the moment, which is another reason that I'm going back. But yeah. Which video was most fun to shoot? Me and Jason just talked about this one right before filming, and we think the most fun and at the same time, the most difficult to shoot were the singles guides. I would love to bring them back. Tell me if you want to see more of those. Those are definitely the most fun because you get to go to a country and you get to see how people live and you get to absolutely immerse yourself in this culture. We went to Iceland. For me, that was just wow, because Icelandic dating culture is out of this world. It's so interesting, but also filming this with purely Icelandic actors and filming this in an Icelandic house and talking to real Icelanders, and like, it's just, for me, it was the best, but also the most difficult. It was exhausting. I think we were filming like a week straight. We had no energy for anything or no strength, but was the most memorable, I'd say. That and Cuba. I love Cuba. You guys should watch that video. It's not doing well. It needs more views. Really. From all the countries that you've been, which one is the best for dating in your opinion? Asks Kay McMargo. I get this question a lot, and I don't think there's an answer for it. I think this really depends on you. What are you looking for? Are you into more traditional gender roles? So there's a lot of questions you need to ask yourself. And I would say, you know what, before you actually go somewhere, do not ever do it to find somebody. Let's say with the guy that I'm dating right now, if I was like, I want to find a Dutch guy, let me go to the Netherlands. Well, okay, then I go to the Netherlands, but do I want to stay in the Netherlands? Because the person I'm going to date from there is probably going to want to stay there. And so I went to the place that I felt that I would feel the best in, which was Portugal. And by luck, I met this person that came from another country and that has a contract in Portugal. So go where you feel that you're going to feel great. Hopefully it's a place that also has a lot of international people, a lot of expats. It gives you more variety, and that's going to be more natural versus you looking on like, oh, I need to find a Portuguese or Polish person. Have you ever thought about quitting? No, never. Actually, absolutely never. And I think when you do something you really love, you don't really think of that there is an alternative. I've gone through waves of kind of apathy where subscribers are not growing, money is not growing, and you just feel like, oh, what's the point? But I really like what I do. And I've never felt this way about anything that I was doing before. And so I think that's for me enough reason to keep going. Funniest video story. I don't know, going on a date with a Cuban guy who was hitting on me was pretty funny and weird. And I think if you guys watched the Norwegian video where they're walking through the trees and Lucas, the Brazilian guy, gets hit with a branch, that took us a long time, and that was a really funny thing to do because I literally had to sit there slapping him with a stick. And by the way, if you guys want to see bloopers and things like that behind the scenes, you can really immerse yourself. It's all on Patreon. Yeah. What is something you learned this year, and what are you currently looking forward to? Well, for me personally, I learned that if something is in your mind, like living in Europe has been for me for years, then you need to do it. Because if not, it's going to stay in your mind. And I feel like if you don't listen to your heart, it becomes such a big problem that it starts controlling you. You become jealous of people that are doing what they want. And a lot of us are paralyzed by our fear. And I've had this situation in my life where I couldn't move away. And no matter if it's a good choice or a bad choice, just make the choice. Do it just for the sake that you know you did it. Last question I'm going to answer is, what's your favorite language? Russian? I like different languages for different reasons. I like German because it's a bit harsh. I like Italian because it's very melodic. I like French because, it's a beautiful, elegant language. I think the language becomes your favorite when you meet someone that you're really attracted to, and then they speak that language, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, this language has something to it. So I think for me, that's the case, Jason, do you have a question you want to ask? Who's the best videographer you've ever worked with? Jason.
What's your favorite video of 2019?
That's a good question. Jason from Canada, Portugal asked me.
Jason from behind the camera.
Ooh, the Turkish video. Because I learned that it can only go up from there.
It's true.
It's like, it's such a bad video that me and Jason were like, we made this pretty whatever video, and we're like, but it's not the Turkish video. It's still better than the Turkish video. Which also taught me to not stress and to not go crazy if things don't go according to plan, because that's how I used to be, and I'm not like that person anymore. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love doing these, at least every so often, just so you get a sense of me as a person, and you don't think that the channel is managed by robots, and that you know that there's not just a big team or something, but it's really me, Jason, and my friend Chandler who are doing these videos together.
This is what happens when you don't sleep and you got 3 shoots back to back to back.
But you understand who I am, where I come from, and why I make these. So for me, that's always really nice to connect to you guys. As well, when you leave me messages and you say, hey, Marina, it's always really cool than you saying, hey. Stay tuned for new stuff that we have coming up in 2020. And yeah, I'll see you actually next week with a new video. And as always, keep on breaking down your barriers and follow your heart. And Happy New Year.